Hi, we're Khiara and Adam, obviously, because you're watching our videos. We just want to say a thank you to everyone who's watching, who's subscribing, who's joining us on our crazy adventure so far as we sail, hopefully, around the world and back to Australia. We have decided to open up a Patreon account because we are getting to places which are a little bit more remote. It's getting a little bit harder to find that Wi-Fi to kind of upload the videos and to respond to you lovely people. And we love listening to, we love reading your comments, and we love responding back to you guys. And we want to continue doing that, I guess, the more remote and further places that we go. It's your turn.
We also would really like to keep doing what we're doing for as long as possible and get a little bit better every time, which means better microphones. Yes, we hear you with the wind noise. We know. We had an unfortunate incident with our drone. We would love to be able to continue to take that footage because I think it's fantastic. I love doing that kind of shooting. We just want to grow. We want to grow, keep doing what we're doing and get better every time, and try to build a little community full of more and more people like the 5,500 lovely people at the time of recording who have decided to join us on this journey.
Thank you so much.
We want to get beer cozies and stubby holders and t-shirts made, and we really want to work on all of that stuff, and hopefully one day get some people out on the boat and have a meet and greet and all that great stuff that comes with a community like a Patreon community. So if you are considering it or have sent us a message asking why we haven't done it, thank you for even considering it. And if you do pull the trigger and decide to chip in and help us out, thank you immensely. Whatever the level, whatever you decide to do, thank you in advance, thank you in arrears, thank you.
And thank you for watching.
And I hope you enjoy this episode. Last episode on sailing Millennial Falcon, we set sail from Mayagez and suffered a recurring case of the disappearing prop shaft. After a few hours of work and an overnight in Bucaron Bay, we patched up Millie and made our way to beautiful La Paguera.
So it's another early start. It's 7 a.m. in the morning, and we are heading off from La Paguera today to Gullivan's Island, which is about a 10 nautical mile kind of motor around, because it's obviously too windy to sail in the day, so it's morning time now, there's not much wind, so we're motoring. So we should be there in about 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours, and we'll spend a few days there before heading further east again.
We're always running at like comfortably low RPM, but our new friend Josh and Lani, Josh is a diesel mechanic, and we were discussing operating conditions of the engine, and he sort of was like, oh, you probably should think about running it a bit harder to let the piston rings expand and to let the engine settle into its natural groove a bit better. And we checked up on his facts, and he was right. The manual says, run it at 90% of the RPM range or 80% of the RPM range 90% of the time, and we don't even get close to that. We're sitting at about 1500 RPM when we max out at about 2800 to 3000. So we were way below what we should be running at, and of course going much slower because of it. So today we've decided to hit the hyperdrive button and give it a bit of a boot, and it's going alright. We're getting, instead of like 4 knots, we're doing 6 knots. The temperature's slightly higher, but it is stable so far. So I think, this might just be the way we do it now. There's plenty of water coming out the back, but that's what we're doing.
Going so fast, my cornflakes are blowing away. Going everywhere.
We're just pulling into the anchorage now. It's a pretty uneventful ride, which is good. We like that. And apparently it's a lot like where were we? La Paguera, but a little bit harder to get to and a little bit lower key, so therefore more beautiful. Yeah, it seems like a pretty nice anchorage. There doesn't seem to be too many people here. It is a Wednesday morning though. Yeah. So far so good.
There's like a ton of people waiting, queuing up there to get a pontoon or party pontoon ride over to this little island over here. So I think it might just be exactly like La Peguera. I think we have not escaped the tourists at all.
Different crowd. I think it'll be mums and kids and families.
Yeah.
It'll be families and kids, not drunken revelers on their fancy boats.
Yeah.
Blaring out the same 3 songs. That seems to be the only 3
God.
songs that Puerto Rico knows.
Crazy. Alright.
Tula! Tula!
Ventura.
I don't even know what it means.
Alright, I think we're gonna anchor now anyway. So we have been here for about an hour or so now. We've put the dinghy in the water. I did a little bit of cleaning up, hang some washing out, and now we are ready to go exploring. So there's a little mangrove patch around there. We figured that would be a nice place to just paddle on over to in the dinghy. I don't have my slippers with me today, so I'll call him Slipper.
Boating can be a real drag sometimes.
No!
Oh! No! Tell me that was recording.
You're recording all our mishaps now too. Thanks guys. Poor Josh got left on the boat on his own while we went to have fun and the anchor dragged. So we're just leaving him to it.
Yeah. He's just being a machine, just doing it by himself.
Yep.
Morning everyone, I thought I'd give us a little recap of where we've gone and where we're going, just so you can visualize what's going on. This is Puerto Rico, and we first arrived in Mayagüez, right here, where we crash landed with a thrown propeller. We fixed the propeller there and we limped our way around to Puerto Rico, which has a lovely marina, which I highly recommend to anyone approaching from the west to Puerto Rico.
What's the marina called?
How do you say it?
Marina Pescaderia.
Pescaderia, thank you. Really, really highly recommend it. They're lovely people and they did us a great many favours. They're the reason we're moving again today. Anyway, so we've recently, just early last week, left Puerto Rico and we headed south down to a place called Boquerón, which is a pretty awesome little bay. There's lots of bars and things lining the beach here and a pretty smooth anchorage. We had some engine troubles there as well, but we managed to fix them and get back on track. And then we moved south again to a place called Cabo Rojo, and anchored in this little alcove just here. The reason for that is the trades pick up pretty ferociously in the middle of the day, so you sort of either leave early and arrive early, or leave late and arrive first light. So we left late and arrived at last light, which is only a short hop, just to avoid the dodgy trades. And then we moved eastward to a place called La Palguera, which is, if I can find it, here. And we're hiding out in an anchorage. I've lost it. There. Behind a shelf reef here. That's a beautiful place. It's one of the must-sees for Puerto Rico. There's little mangrove alcoves and hidden reefs. It's really quite beautiful, and you have to go there if you have the chance. And try to go in a quiet time. Don't go on summer holidays, because that's when we arrived, unfortunately, and it was a little bit busy, but still spectacular. We've since then moved around the corner again to a place called Gilligan's Island, which is much the same as La Paguera as far as scenery goes, but I would dare say more beautiful. Much better snorkeling. It's only about 5 or 6 feet of water max, but the sea life is incredible. The fish love the mangroves, and there's lobsters in the underhangs. There's lots of little barracuda running around, a couple of rays. Anyway, go and see that if you have the chance. And today we're moving another 15 miles east at early doors. We've been up since 5:30 to Ponce, which is about 15 miles down the way, which will be our last major chance to stock up, if I can find Ponce. Salinas. Where are you, Ponce? There you are. Here, Ponce Boating and Fishing Club. There's a marina here where we can get fuel and water and an anchorage out the front. That'll be our last chance to do some provisioning. Ponce is the second largest city in Puerto Rico, so it's about a half an hour walk from the marina to a Home Depot and a shop. So we'll fill up, get ready to go, and then I do believe we're headed out to a place called Coffin Island, which, despite its rather foreboding name, is also quite beautiful and a great place to stop.
So we just arrived here in Ponce. I think we might have left a little bit late because the winds were starting to pick up about an hour ago or so, gusting up to about 20 knots. So we probably left a little bit late today, and we shouldn't do that again. However, we have had a little bit of a mishap downstairs. We were doing so well, having such a clean place, and then we decided to turn inwards to get to our anchorage, and suddenly we then had the waves on our beam, and we were getting rolled around. Nothing dangerous though, but there was a little accident downstairs. Accident in the sink here. There is a lot of eggs going on, a lot of egg shells going on. I did attempt to clean some of it up, but the whole floor and our couch is now sticky with eggs that have fallen from the shelf, which we have yet to glue back, which should now probably be a priority for us, really.
Where are we?
We are in Ponce today. We've just pulled up, and it's a bit windy and it's a bit wavy out on the boat, so my friends have decided to rent a car, and we thought that we'd go along for the ride. They're going to head up to San Juan to do a few chores. This will probably be the last time where we can actually do a few chores because everything's a little bit more easily accessible here. So a bit of shopping, a bit of West Marine,
A bit of exploring San Juan.
maybe some exploring San Juan if we have some time.
For the road trip, number one, we just accidentally drove into a US Army base because Google Maps said there was a Subway there and we wanted to eat fresh. And it was all Lani's fault.
Google Maps did.
Explain yourself, Lani.
Hey Adam, where are we again?
West Marine. Sorry. West Marine. Easy mistake to make.
It's actually concerning that we know which aisle to go down nowadays. So we're finding shackles because we broke yet another one when we started sailing the other day on this fateful prop shaft breaking day again. Oh, it fell off.
It just shook itself loose, and I've got to lock wire them because they keep falling out.
What have you found, Adam?
Nothing really.
What's in your hand then?
Oh, this, yeah. I did find some stuff. Bilge pump replacement. It's not really enough, but it's the only one with a 1-inch outlet that will fit the existing plumbing and seacock system, and if I go up in size the head pressure changes and the bilge is so deep that it's a problem. And as the last of last resorts, a manual pump out so that when it all goes to custard we can put a hose down there and bail it out into buckets. So that'll just make me sleep better at night, knowing that if I pull the hatch off one day and we've got 4 feet of water in there, we can get it out. That's cheap.
Yep.
And that's all.
Much more than that, like this one.
The next day, we used the last few hours of the car rental to do some provisioning. Upon our return, the midday winds turned the logistics into quite the adventure.
Oh man, that was a hectic shopping run. We just did a shopping trip because it's the last day we're going to use the car, and that was incredibly wet and hairy ride then. I do not want to do that again, and pretty much every single thing is now going to taste of salt. All of our Ritz crackers are just going to be nicely soggy. Hey, it's a sailing life.
Just after sunrise the following morning, we hauled anchor and made the short hop over to Coffin Island.
Thank you for watching.